What's up, guys? Subzeric here, back for another VOD review. But before we get into it, two important pieces of news here. So, the Teamfight Tactics Twitter account posted this today. There's a lot of info in here, but the most important stuff is that PBE is obviously coming up July 28th on Tuesday. Yippee! It's going to be out very, very soon. People are kind of speculating, is the release of Live getting pushed back, or is it going to be a normal 2-week PBE, that 4-week PBE they talked about, and it is going to be a 4-week PBE. So Live is coming out August 26th. Now, what this has the biggest implications on is the Vegas snapshots. It seems right now that they are going to change the date of the Vegas snapshot. Originally, the Vegas snapshot was going to be September 6th, which would give you just 11 days to grind for Vegas, which seems not really acceptable. So we will see when they move the dates around. I will obviously keep you guys as up to date as possible in either YouTube posts or videos. I mean, you can also always check out my my Discord. I always, the moment this info came out, I posted it into my Discord and other people were talking about it. So if you ever want to be updated, obviously link in the description down below there. But yeah, it's wild. I mean, I was about 50-50 on whether the set release would be, if it'd be 4-week PBE or 2-week PBE. My base case is also that they will move the snapshot, just because I think it's almost reasonable. It's funny because a lot of people said, if they move the snapshot or if they don't move the snapshot and it's only 11 days long, well, then there's barely going to be any players who are challenger. So it's just going to be like a race to masters tier snapshot, which is pretty reasonable, except for the part where it's like, if you have work, if you have anything going on, that first week of the set basically makes it impossible for you to climb. And so my hope is that they push it back, ideally just a couple of weeks, and so we get the full 25 days, and we get just a regular, similar to what they were originally planning with the snapshot. But hey, we will see. To talk about the spot we're in for Kurumx here, this is the Big Bang game here. Imagine we take Glove looking to get towards JG. We have a BT that's quite just immediately slammable here for the Meepsy, and yeah, I'd be happy to make just a BT JG here. This has kind of stealthily become a very, very solid hero augment. It was quite good for a while, and the nerf buff, now to the point where it's pretty well balanced. It's obviously not like take this and you insta-win the game, but it's pretty solid to the point where you should be quite happy to pick it, especially in a spot like Kurumx, where we had already one Meepsy, and we're going to be able to get double slam here. Ideally, you do want like JG Hodge type stuff, but I think it's just too much value to be able to just make JG plus BT here, and we are going to slam the sword here, with the idea that if we don't make BT, this can go towards Edge of Night, which is really, really nice onto this guy. So I think that is the plan here, but we'll see if we get to it. One of the things about TFT in general is that you can't exactly greed for BIS, especially in a spot like this where like the BT slam is quite impactful. The difference between making BT and not making BT here is a huge difference in our board strength here. So you can see every fight, Kurum is hovering the slam to see if he can win. And yep, he is hovering over all these items. You can see Edge of Night looks really, really nice. The stats still like Edge of Night as the last item here. What I will say is, yeah, honestly, this board that we fight is pretty strong. So the BT slam ends up actually not making a huge diff here. Steamroll is really potentially juicy here. We do not have the ability to make Edge of Night, so he's just going to opt to take Gnar. It might even be just a red buff make here just to get heal cut out of the way and get that well and made. And I mean, the dream is obviously Steamroll can hit us a Meepsy, and there's even some other 2 costs that we can play into. Get the Gnar here. We get Pike, who actually is a pretty good in on this board. Oftentimes you will see people reroll Meepsy and Pike, but part of the reason why I'm VOD reviewing this game is it was actually a little bit more interesting than that. It was kind of a fun one for Kurum here. So we have the red buff. We want to make it. Do opt to slam it here. I will say we're certainly not going to win this fight as well. So boom, that is our extra value from our God Boon lost immediately. So rest in peace for Kurumx. But hey, not the worst, I guess. We got a 2 cost out of it. It feels pretty bad. Definitely would have preferred to take the Caliber Fortress one. I'm kind of surprised he did even go for the Steamroll, but I think he was thinking, that we'd fought somebody decently strong, that we were probably not going to lose the next fight. But it happens here. Rotate into another incredible board. Wow, this guy's level 6. So I mean, if we hadn't lost Steamroll there, we certainly would have lost it here. And I mean, it makes sense, right? This guy pushed level 6 because they probably want to beat the 100 HP streaker. So yeah, Steamroll, it does some interesting stuff to lobbies sometimes. So that's what has occurred here. But yeah, I mean, the normal board, I'm kind of interested to see Kurumx team planner. Oftentimes the normal board for this comp doesn't even play Meeple, and you can see we're actually not currently playing it just because he hovered Meepsy there, so we can go back and go onto the ability hover here because it's quite healthy or quite helpful. This just ups the passive damage, the attack per the damage per auto attack, which is really not where a lot of the value from Meepsy's ability comes from. A lot of the value is just big jump, do a bunch of damage, one tap half the board. That's what you're really looking for with Meepsy a lot of the time, and so that is normally the board that people play towards. Do have Warmogs here, it's just a solid enough tank item. Obviously, we don't need Sunfire here, so we can just build into this. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have a Warmogs here. We did pick up the Mordekaiser as well, who tends to be the tank onto this board. But once again, it gets a little interesting this game. And we're even going to Meepsy up the Warmogs, throw it onto Meepsy so that we can just have a tankier front line. It actually has good synergy with the BT, the percent HP shield, so it makes a lot of sense. One of the interesting things is we actually didn't hold Pike, go for Pike pair earlier, which is kind of interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't really love any of these. We're gonna, ooh, this is kind of fun. We're just gonna glass cannon and then just backline Meepsy for the glass cannon value. Okay. I mean, the idea being that the early damage doesn't actually hurt Meepsy very much because we have the BT. We're gonna be healing up a ton on that first cast anyway. And it's a little annoying to have to back row Meepsy, but not even really the end of the world. So I kind of like this positioning a lot, especially as well. If we do end up going down the Pike path, you can do some just positioning where Meepsy's back row, you just have like one unit on the front, you allow them to split for Pike positioning, and actually makes it pretty reasonable to position like this. So it's a smart idea from Kurumx to just take this augment, especially when the other options were pretty mediocre. Pick up another Meepsy. So now we're at 4. We are going to sit on level 6 until at least Meepsy 3 and maybe some other stuff like I talked about, the Mordekaiser, the Pike, normally the units that you will go for in this line. So definitely stuff that we can think towards. But I mean, it would really be kind of a case by case, depend on what you hit basis. And as many of our last few VOD reviews have shown, you know, not every time that you're playing reroll should you just cookie cutter say I'm playing X comp. Unfortunate fight loss for Kurumx, I will say. And so yeah, he opts to sell off the Pike again, just saying, yeah, I care 0% for this this Pike 3 in the spot. Really just gonna say we're gonna go for Meepsy, and that's gonna be it here. I mean, 3-star 1 cost is an interesting idea. I don't know if there's that many hits. I would be looking at just Rod here. And he does look like go for the Rod and also gets the Victor in the spot as well here. Wait, it actually was the Evelyn boon. I think, yeah, it timed out. He ran out of time. So we got Evelyn boon, and it actually rotated into the Lysandre here. So now we're in a spot where we just have a random Lysandre 3 on our board. I mean, this is probably the best 1 cost to get hit outside of like maybe some kind of interesting, I mean, even like random Teemo 3 would be kind of funny. We could play it for a little while, but okay. And Lysandre just gets to sit onto our board for the entire game. I mean, she fits really, really easily onto the board, especially with the Mordekaiser getting Darkstar in. I mean, this version that we're playing right now is the very easy version to fit, where you get 6 traits for 6 units. So feels very, very nice to play. Pretty reminiscent of you know, the old school like Victor reroll type boards. Some similar units on there to that, and so that is the idea that we got going on here. And we need a Lowy still so that we can get Vanguard in over this kind of team. I was gonna say stupid Teemo, but then I thought, that's kind of mean to Teemo. Like he's not stupid. He's actually a pretty cool guy, though. Honestly, they nerfed him like one of the first few patches of the set when 1 cost rule is too broken, and this guy has been trashed through the entire set. Okay, I'll say it. Stupid Teemo. Sorry. But yeah, allows you to go into planner here, and then Nami, Ross type stuff. And yeah, I mean, the board fits really nicely. I'm surprised by his lack of priority on the Pike 3, just because I do like Pike as an option. Also, it's kind of funny that we moved the Meepsy back up, I guess with the idea that it's just like Liz is our main damage dealer here. And honestly, Meepsy is like low-key a tank for right now, though not for long here, especially as we're getting pretty close to Meepsy. Also holding on to the Nunu pair here is a potential out. Just bam, random Nunu onto your board can't be bad. Pick up some extra Pikes here. Boom, that's Meepsy 3. This is such an early Meepsy that I feel like this might encourage us to just send it. And like this is just as our setup here. You know, we're not going to roll for anything else here, and we are just going to start pushing levels. I think that is the obvious idea in the spot here. We do lose, of course, to 5 Nova Akali because Akali is a pretty good unit. Portable Forge has some really cool outs. I would be that's the one I'm most excited for. Charge Transfer is an interesting idea as well, just because you are doing a lot of overkill damage. We are going to take this. Do not really get anything that's great onto the Meepsy, I would say. Arizora is pretty good. Just throw it onto the Lysandra here, and we can swap the JG around here. Sounds pretty good, and that is going to be the plan. So Deathcap JG, get to sit on the Meepsy. The red buff can go back down onto the Lysandra. Warmogs can go onto a Mordekaiser, who's our main tank. And yeah, this is going to be our setup. I like this a lot. The Arizora, it's a little funny because oftentimes you want to middle this unit so that she's getting a lot of AoE, and Meepsy you kind of oppositely want usually on one of the corners, just so that it can get kind of like a big jump into backline and start hitting units. And so we'll see. Yeah, it kind of looks like we are just going to stick with this positioning, even though it's a teeny tiny bit awkward. The upside is that we, you know, get the possibility for Meepsy to wrap, and sometimes Meepsy does just wrap to backline. No, actually, okay, we're going to move the Meepsy a little bit more towards the center. I think if you're doing this, then you probably should just move the Lys up towards the middle so that she gets a lot of value off the Arizora. But you can see this Meepsy units, I mean, at Meepsy 3 is an absolute monster, especially this Deathcap setup, really nice. It means we don't have the aggro draw from the Edge of Night, but it means we have a lot more front-loaded damage. We're going to take the recurve bow here in this spot, guaranteeing, I mean, we are always going to be Evelyn Boone from this spot, mostly just for the fact that we want to get to Void Staff here, and then we get the tier immediately after. So boom, that's Void Staff made. Also pick up the Alawi here, which is great. And yep, we could just move these all back. I'm kind of surprised, actually. I thought the target lock, yeah, okay, so the target lock does stay onto Lysandra. So I like this a lot just because she can actually hit quite a few units with the target lock. I believe Ari's Aura does not proc target lock because, like, Ari's Aura doesn't actually count as the unit itself doing damage. The damage is actually coming from the item. It's one of these very weird items. It actually like has anti-synergy with a lot of strange stuff. Like it doesn't actually count as Lysandra doing this damage. It's the damage is coming from the item. So I'd actually imagine that it doesn't proc target lock, though. If it did, I would not be completely shocked here. I mean, stranger things have happened in TFT. But yeah, I mean, the setup's looking great. We have our heal cut done. We have our March Shred done. We have our tank items done. I mean, we're very happy about this spot. And now the only thing left to do is push levels. We have the Rost as our next in on this board, who is super, super valuable. Just easy 7 trait Rost. And I mean, if you do want to finish out with the Nami, then that's 8 traits. So yeah, I mean, I think we just one last tank item here for the Mord, and that's about it. I mean, you could look at something else. I mean, I wouldn't be that mad about just taking this. Yeah, just make the Gargoyle here, take the Victor 2, and this is our setup here. You can level and roll for something to play here. Ideally, it's a Rost. I mean, honestly, Aurora 2 is not bad. Just throw onto this board here. Have Morgana as a potential out as well, and we are gonna, wow, this is gonna be the finish of the board. Okay. I mean, this is a pretty cool way to finish it out, where you have the 5 Shepherd on this board. So this is why we're holding Teemo for this out. I mean, I love it, honestly. It's good flex play out of Kurumx in this spot, just saying we might not end up hitting. And also, this kind of solves the issue of the fact that we didn't actually hit a 3-star tank. So now we actually have some extra frontline from 5 Shepherd. Yeah, I actually like it a lot. Sadly, we do end up losing a fight, and now we have the Morgana here. So I think, yeah, we're going to be forced to play Morgana Rost. I mean, I say forced to, but it's definitely not a bad thing. The Morgana's an absolute beast here. And also, we are now going back to giving Meepsy the glass cannon value. I mean, I think this is like necessary. So much extra damage. Makes the positioning a lot more awkward, but just boom, the amount of damage that this Meepsy does, especially with the damage amp from the glass cannon, is huge. Especially in a spot where, like, we have crit, we have AP, you have everything. The more stuff that you can get to scale off of that, the better. Also, Kurumx, I guess, looking at this tweet that I was talking about earlier, just because, yeah, I mean, today has been kind of a whirlwind of information. I hope that this is just because, you know, they're transitioning engines. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background from Riot Games. I hope, you know, like, maybe at the end of the set, next set, a year from now, 10 years from now, we get some like funny stories about the engine transition, and they're like, man, that thing was a lot of work, but it was for the best in the end. That is my hope. And hey, I'm an optimistic person, and I think it could happen. I mean, Riot's, I think I actually heard that somebody posted somewhere that Valorant actually like changed engines as well, and it was a I don't know how seamless or unseamless, but obviously, you know, the game is doing completely fine, and it wasn't too big of a disruption. So hey, that's good to hear that that you know Riot has been through this before with something else like that. Yeah, I don't mind this. Just move a better item here because target lock is honestly it's not that crazy good on Lissandra. So just move the Ari's Aura over to the Victor. Doesn't really matter as much who it's on, and just get the damage item for the Lissandra. It is a little repetitive, GS plus plus glass cannon, but hey, top 4 locked in for Kurum and level 9 potentially fast approaching with I mean a bunch of traits from I mean, you really actually want to fit Nami in on this board because you really would actually like Replicator for Lissandra since we have Lissandra 3 onto this board. So that would be the dream here. We're fighting a very strong fast 9 board. Also, Fiora's aggroing straight onto our Meepsy. Not to say that we were likely to win this fight anyway, but I think that makes it a lot harder. So that's going to be a loss. Hopefully, yeah, this put-in player does take a loss as well, which is pretty good news for us. It means that there's somebody else that we can potentially beat out for the top 3 here. So, I mean, all Kurum can do is try to win his next fight, the fight in front of him, and see what he can do from there. Hopefully get a top 3. I don't think we're ever going to beat that fast 9 board with 2 cost reroll. I mean, it's just too unlikely. But hey, maybe something slightly better than a 4th, which would be a 3rd, if you've ever heard this thing before. I'm kind of surprised we don't hold the Auroras, but I think he's just thinking, yeah, that this is always going to be the unit onto our board here. We need Replicator on the board, and it's an extra trait for Ross, so makes sense. Going to take our last item here, which is going to be Adaptive. I think he ideally would have gotten it onto the Victor, but just kind of ran out of time, and we're rotating into this other player. The Akali 3. Is the Meepsy strong enough? It was actually so close to getting a last cast there, but we are going to go down, and wow, this put in person won against the other. I'm actually shocked. I thought for sure this board would have lost to them, but I guess is that I guess it's the or not the Mordekaiser, the Cho'Gath board. So big choke can win some fights. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check my Twitch, Spotify, all my links down below, and I will see you guys. Also, you know, I shouted out the start of the last video, but still, if you want to see some of me playing non-TFT, Guild Run, Slay the Spire, all that kind of stuff, I have a variety channel that I just started. Every subscribe matters if you're interested in watching that kind of stuff. Guild Run videos coming out all this week from a lot of my runs earlier, so go check it out if you're interested. See you guys later. Thanks for watching as always. Bye-bye.